Turnarounds are important mechanisms in music. A turnaround is basically a chord progression, usually a short one, that's designed to build tension and release it to a specific chord. Now you can use these to get back to the beginning of a song, to get into the bridge, to indicate a key change. You can use them in many ways, but they all do the same thing. They create that tension and they dump it out and release it in a very specific chord. Now without exception, turnarounds are referred to using the Nashville numbering system. So that's stuff like 5-4-1, 1-6-2-5, 4 minor 4-1, 2-5-1. So in that light, these can be a little bit hard to drill through, especially initially, because you have to bear the cognitive load of knowing what the 2 is and what the 5 is before you even begin. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. Today you will learn how to drill 2-5-1 turnarounds around the circle of fifths, and we're going to be using triads. Now, as I mentioned just now, that Nashville numbering system can be a bit of a cognitive load initially, especially early on when we don't have a lot of experience knowing what the 2 and the 5 is in every single key. The Nashville numbering system, if you don't already know it, simply proxies in numbers for the position and function of chords in a major scale. Let me show you how that works. An example in the key of A, perhaps. We just number the notes in the major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then by harmonizing, you come up with a very, very specific set of chords. 1 is always major, 2 is always minor, 3 is always minor, 4 is always major, and those basically function in a very specific way in a key. So this Nashville numbering system just says, play the 2 chord, play the 5 chord, and then play the 1 chord in this key. And in that way, those types of chord progressions are very maneuverable. It doesn't matter what key you're in, just play the 2, the 5, and the 1. So let's say I'm playing a 2-5-1 progression in the key of A using triads. I have to now think about what is the 2 chord in the key of A. Okay, A up a whole step is B, 2 chords always minor. Okay, what's the 5 chord of A? Maybe I have to use my hands. A, B, C, D, E. There's an E chord here, and then back to the 1. So I've got my 2-5-1. Now you can imagine if I'm trying to go around the circle of fifths and gain some real capability, that cognitive load can really get in my way. Well, thankfully there's this really cool shortcut that's just laying out in the open inside the circle of fifths that reduces your cognitive load almost completely, but still retains the benefit of you knowing exactly what chords you're playing for each single iteration of the 2-5-1. Let me show you how it works. Okay, the task ahead of us is drilling 2-5-1s around the circle of fifths, and we're going to be doing it with triads on the D, G, and B string. Now that's a tall task. This is going to be a bit of a workout, especially if we're sort of a little bit new on the side of music theory and applying it on the fretboard. This could be a big task. Let me show you the problem that's at hand. The first note on the circle of fifths is C. So a 2-5-1 in the key of C, using triads on that set of strings. Well, I know there's a C chord here, but I can't even play that. I got to play the 2 first, and then I got to play the 5, and then I can play this chord. So what is the 2 of C? Okay, that's C, D, that's a D. The 2 chord's always minor, so I need a D minor. There's a D minor. Okay, now I get to play the 5. What's the 5 in C? C, D, E, F, G. Okay, there's a G chord here, and now I can play the C. Now you can imagine, if that's the experience I'm having and I have to go all the way around the circle of fifths, that cognitive load can be prohibitive. That's the kind of thing that's going to make me go, forget it. I don't want to do it. It's too hard. This is too hard. I really want that knowledge, but I don't want to work that hard. And there you have it. And then suddenly you miss an opportunity to drill something that's really important and get it on the neck, which is really what we want. We want neck knowledge. We want fretboard knowledge and fretboard freedom. This is one of the ways to do it. Okay, so the task is still in front of us. 2-5-1. Let's just talk about 2-5-1. I'm going to put it on the screen here. 2-5-1. You can see these are Roman numerals. This is the Nashville numbering system. These numbers indicate a proxy for the degrees of a major scale. If you harmonize a major scale, this is A major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. We get a chord from each one of these positions. The 1 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, 7 chord, 1. So there's a chord for each one of the notes. This number, 2, indicates that's the second chord in the key. The 5 indicates it's the 5 chord in the key, and the 1 indicates it's the 1. Notice that that 2 is a lowercase number. In the Nashville numbering system, lowercase indicates minor, and uppercase indicates major. So the 2-5-1 is minor 2, major 5, major 1. Okay, so we got that. 2-5-1, 2 minor, 5 major, 1 major. Now we're going to get the circle of fifths up here. Whew, all right, this is quite a bit, right? So imagine the task that I just did at the top, finding that D minor, finding the G, and then finding the C. That was a lot of work. It was a bit of a cognitive load, right? But we found it. Now, here it is again, D minor, G, C. Take a look at the first 3 letters in the circle of fifths. And you'll notice that D is just 2 spaces ahead of the C. The G is 1 space ahead of the C, that's the 5 chord, and then C. So this little hack works throughout the entire circle. Go up 2 spots, that's your 2 chord, walk back to your 5 and walk back to the 1. D minor, that's your 2 chord. G, that's your 5. Walk back to the 1. So up 2 minor, walk back to the 5, walk back to the 1. Let's try it for the next one. Next key is G. Up 2 spots, play a minor chord. A minor, walk back, D, that's our 5, walk back again, there's G. Right? All right, this looks like it's going to work. D is our next target. Up 2 spots for a minor chord, E minor, walk back 1 to A for our 5 chord, walk back 1 for the D. Next chord is A in the circle, walk up 2 for the B, there's your minor chord, there's your 2 chord, walk back for your E chord, which is 5, and then walk back again, which is your A chord. There's your 1. There's your 2-5-1 in the key of A. Next key is E. Go up 2 for your 2 chord, F sharp minor, walk back for the 5 chord, there's your B, walk back again for the 1. Next key is B. We got to go up 2 steps, play that minor chord there, that's C sharp minor, walk back for the 5, F sharp, walk back for the 1. It's so much easier, but yet I retain the information about which chords are which. Next key is F sharp. We got to walk up 2 for the G sharp minor, that's our 2. C sharp is our 5. Walk back again for the 1. Next key is C sharp. Go up 2 to play a D sharp minor. There's our 2 chord. Walk back for the 5 at G sharp. Walk back for the 1, C sharp. Next key in the circle of fifths is G sharp. We walk up 2 for the 2 chord. There's our A sharp minor, 2. D sharp, walk back in the list for our 5. Walk back again for the G sharp, there's our 1. Next key is D sharp. Walk up 2 spots for our F minor, that's our 2 chord. Walk back in the circle for the A sharp, there's our 5. And now we can play our target, our 1 chord, D sharp. Next key is A sharp. We got to go up 2 spots, play a C sharp minor for the 2, F for the 5, and back to the 1 for our A sharp. Next key is F. We go up 2 for the G minor, walk back for C, our 5th, and then play the 1, walk back again to the F. And finally we're back where we started. 2, 5, 1 in the key of C. Fascinating. The circle of fifths has all this information in it already. You just have to look for the mathematical sort of, pattern, the geometric pattern to help you along. Now meanwhile, do this a couple of times and your familiarity with the fretboard and with this chord progression will skyrocket. Naturally, the next time you get to it, it'll be much easier. Pretty soon you'll be able to do this without even thinking about it and without even looking for a shortcut. It'll all be available to you. But it's this kind of drilling. This is the kind of effort that gets this information on the neck, right? It really gets you attached to the design of the fretboard. And once you're attached to the design of the fretboard in this way, incorporating new information is much, much easier. Guarantee it. Okay, there it is, right? Hidden in the circle of fifths, this really cool hack for the 2-5-1. Go up 2 from the target you're at. That's your 2 chord, right? Minor, always minor for the 2-5-1. Go backwards through the circle. There's your 5 chord. Go backwards again and you're home. Rinse and repeat. Isn't that cool? I find that kind of stuff so amazing and so fun. It really does help reduce the cognitive load, but also retain that benefit of knowing what the 2 chord is, knowing what the 5 chord is. Very, very cool. Okay, I've tabbed all this stuff out. I've linked that in the description below. That's over on Patreon. Head on over there if you'd like to get the tabs. Also, if these lessons and this channel resonates with you, consider supporting the channel. The best way to do that is on Patreon, so head on over there if you'd like to do that. I've also included a donate button in the description below. And if you do decide to support the channel, I thank you in advance. Okay, go forward. Drill 2-5-1s around the circle of fifths using this hack. You won't have to bear the cognitive load. The circle of fifths will do it for you. All right, I hope you have fun with this. I'll see you next time.